when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. I think that was a quote that Miles Moreau made. And I find out that a lot of my Nigerian women don't know their purpose, and that's the reason why they are enduring abuse, but they don't even know that they are being abused. And I needed us to pay attention to that quote today, and I will throw more light on it with stories, about two women I heard. So a lot of Nigerian women are in partnership with men who try to limit their potentials. These men, some do it violently, some do it subtly, but because women are always looking for domestic abuse in that man who hits them, they tend to miss out on this approach by our men. If you're living with any man who tries to limit your progress, subtly or violently, I'll explain it to you. He's trying to stop you from taking, up new jobs. He's trying to prevent you from improving yourself. He's trying to stop you from developing yourself. You're living with an abusive man. They come in subtly sometimes. They try to, make you see certain reasons with them, and they're trying to distract you. But this is something that you really wanted to do for yourself. You maybe had thought about it before you guys got married. Some people claimed or say that they discussed this thing with their husbands. By the time they got married, the men started changing. Maybe their family members advised them not to allow their women do these things, because a lot of times I have found out that there is a whole lot of influence coming from, men's families. When a woman comes into their lives, there's a whole lot of advice coming from various corners, and the men tend to listen to those advices, and based on that advice they're getting from external sources, they start dictating things for their wives. So a lot of women, who are interested in developing themselves, I've heard stories of people. There's a particular lady, she's a medical doctor. She got married and the man does not want her to make progress in her career. She's not even doing a good job as a medical doctor. Your parents spent more than 10 years of their income, sent you to a medical school, and you came out and a man doesn't want you to practice. He doesn't want her to write her medical exams that will enable her get into residency. He doesn't just want her to make progress. And when I heard that story, I said, no, this one is in an abusive relationship, even if the guy doesn't hit her. If he's not hitting her right now, he's definitely going to do that in future. Because in that scenario, what I found out there is that probably she just got married to a man who is threatened by her progress. And you, man, why did you go to marry a medical doctor? A medical certificate is not something you put in your box. It's not history. Even someone who read history, I'm going to encourage them to continue to develop themselves, to get themselves to the place where they should be. But you find out that a lot of our ladies, it appears that many Nigerian men don't want progress for their wives. I don't know why, because these stories keep coming up. And for some, it is after they got married, the men don't want them to go back to school, to study anything. The men don't want them to pick up better jobs. And these same men, they don't call for your advice. They don't call for your input when they are doing their own thing. They always have that say when it's you that wants to make that decision, because a lot of times, from the stories I've heard and in my analysis of the situation, these things are always around children. They believe that it is a woman's place to raise kids. Then you married a woman and you don't know that if you want to have a child, that is joint business. A child is joint work. In fact, it's even more of your work as a man than it is of the woman, because it's the man's role in the life of the children that enable those children to become normal people. Then you bring her in, you just start impregnating her with babies. You have scorned from your responsibility because you believe that your work as the man is just to make money. This is even for the men that are making money, because these days, many men that I've heard about now, have gone to bed. The women are running around children, they are going to work, they are bringing the money, they are still funding man, they invest in his business. This is witchcraft. I don't know what's really going on in what people are calling marriages. Honestly, I can't understand you people, women, because I don't even discuss about men. Honestly, I don't think that I have the energy to talk to men. I believe that people who should talk to men should be men. Nigerian men listen to men like them. They don't listen to women, so I don't have time doing that. I'm talking to women because I think there's something that is not right with the way our women are functioning, with the way we have been raised, with the way we're thinking. We're thinking wrongly. A lot of things we're doing is totally out of it. Now, you need to develop yourself for yourself, not for your man, for yourself. Okay? And a man has no rights. I'm telling you now, your husband has absolutely no right to stop you from your progress. Now, if you guys are having a conversation, you're having a conversation with a normal person, who, two of you are working together towards certain goals, and you guys are looking at your situation and you can see that that person is involved, he has your interest at heart, then I think you can listen and you guys can make necessary adjustments. But I expect that you should use your number 6 to know when the person you're living with does not have your interest at heart, even when it's being communicated subtly. Because a lot of the cases, these things are communicated subtly, and our women are falling maga for it. A man that his salary is not taking you guys home, is not impacting in your home, has no right to tell you not to improve yourself further if you think you need additional income in that home. If that guy is trying to subtly stop you from making that progress, that guy is abusive in your life and you don't need to listen to him. Okay? You don't need to listen to him. I tell you, what I want to do is what I want to do. No Jupiter. I've been doing things before I got married. No Jupiter from heaven. Even in my own parents' house, I started working as a teenager. Okay? I started working. So I can't imagine that man that now marries me. I was working in my parents' house as an undergraduate and into when I started school, when we go on strike, I try to look for jobs to do. Then one man that I entered your life as a wife, you now start telling me work I shouldn't do. Kolo, Kolo now. You can't tell me that. We can have a conversation around, certain things. But I don't think it's in a man's place to tell you whether to work or not to work. It's not his business. He is working. So if children are a challenge, what we should do with our children is a challenge in our marriage. We should engage in a conversation on whether we want to have children or not. Because if we want to have children, then we both of us need to make necessary adjustments, to attend to the issues of the child. The issues of the child is not a woman's responsibility. That's not why you married her. You don't marry a woman to start doing child. His child is joint work. Two people must attend to the issues of the child. If not, that child is going to be raised as a dysfunctional person. I tell you, a lot of the reasons why we have dysfunctional people today in our society is because our men have not taken their places in their homes where they should establish themselves as fathers. That is the reason our girls are going into marriages where they're being abused. They end up dead because there was no fatherhood in their life. They didn't experience what it meant to have a father. That's why somebody will allow somebody else to kill their daughter, and they don't know anything about it, or they don't. If you have a relationship with your daughter is going to tell you what's going on in her house. It's going to tell you what's going on in her house. So these are the reasons why we're having these men today who don't know their left from their right. We're having daughters today who are ending up with divorce, with men who are abusing them, because the fatherhood role is totally absent. So that's why I'm saying that if you people want children, have that conversation, but it should not impact on somebody's job, you know. Somebody is not going to be the one to sacrifice her job because of children, except that's what she wants to do for herself. Then when she wants to continue, you can't come back to tell her that she can't do that job, or she can't go to school, or she can't improve herself, or she can't go for a better job. And I heard a very juicy story. So that's that for this lady who is a medical student, a medical graduate, that her husband is trying to stop her. If you're finding yourself in that kind of place, I think you're the one that we need to check. You need to understand what's going wrong with you, because your parents could not have invested all that resource on you for you to stay at home and put your certificate inside your box. Then you're negotiating with someone who does not know your value. And that's why I needed to read this thing to us this morning, that when the purpose of a thing is not known. So you don't know your purpose, the man you're living with don't know your purpose. So abuse is inevitable. You abuse yourself without because of ignorance. Then other people will join in the abuse. So this the second juicy one is this story of a lady who few months ago was able to relocate her family from Nigeria to Netherlands. She landed a new job in Netherlands, and that's how she has packed her husband and her kids with her to Netherlands. These are women who are changing things for their families. And all you men that are limiting your wives, I wanted to bring this scenario in so that you can see that a woman is not daft. That person you are married, she's not dumb. She can move your life to the next level. So when you're stopping that woman from making progress, you're also stopping yourself. You're pulling yourself backward. Just know that anything that you're stopping your wife from doing that is supposed to help her is also drawing you back. So as we continue to have this engagement, I even look forward to hearing from men who are doing these things. I really want to understand why you do these things, your mindset, because my own understanding is that it comes from a very selfish perspective, and this is abuse. You're abusing these women where you try to limit them from becoming the best that they can be. Please, let's free our women to go up there and shine. Look at how we're praising Toby Amusan, we're praising Serena Williams. Are these people? Serena is somebody's wife. Oh. Toby will be somebody's wife in another day. We're singing our praises. But we have these women in our homes with potentials. We put them in bottles. We lock them up. As you lock up your woman's potential, you're also locking up your own potential because you don't know what she can become. So that's what I want to tell our women today. That when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So go and understand your purpose. And that's why you need to spend time knowing yourself before you move into a man's house. You need to understand yourself, because the level of knowledge that you operate with is the level at which you would either enjoy or not enjoy your union. So that is it. Today's video has been relatively long because I needed to really establish certain things. So thank you. I share this thing with anyone that you think that needs to hear these things, because I think that our women's brains need to be unlocked. We need to unlock our brains so that we can start functioning properly. A lot of things are not working well for our women. Thank you.